Hey guys, what's going on? Um, no actual topic. Same shit I've been saying. Um, this journey got old a long time ago, uh, and I've sort of been pretending that any of it matters to me for the last few years. People might say I'm pessimistic or I'm a negative Nancy or I see the dark and things, but the truth is I'm not. I'm actually optimistic by nature. The truth is I'm just brutally fucking honest. And how long can you chase something and not find it before you come to terms with the fact that it just may not exist? It's almost like searching for the holy grail is the same truth journey. If you could call it a journey, more they should call it a truth torment, because it doesn't feel like a journey. A journey would be exciting at some points or happy at some point. It just feels like we're suffering and struggling to the whim of tyrannical evil businessmen in a monetary system. It just seems that's all we actually do in this realm. But you got a group of folks over here saying, no, no, it's a school. You got a group of folks over here saying, no, no, it's a test. You got a group of folks over here saying, no, no, God loves you. And this is the devil doing this. And that shit gets old. Like, how many times do you want to hear different opinions before you go, oh, shit, none of these motherfuckers really know what the fuck they're talking about. They're all delusional. You walk around with this hope that you're going to run into the right one. Maybe Chris will say the right thing in it. Chris been searching for this shit before you even started watching Chris. If Chris had the right thing to say, he would have said it a long time ago. Uh, what up, that inside? Um, it just is what it is, man. Come to terms with the fact that you're in a fucking simulation. That's exactly how it would be if you were in a simulation. Uh, you would be if I gave absolute sentience to the main character in a video game and then asked him as a character next to him, not as somebody outside the game, but as a character in his game, hey, go find the truth. He would sort of end up in a type of predicament that we as truth seekers are in now. He would be searching for something that doesn't exist. What up, T? What up, bro? It's 100% simulated. What up, T? Oh, it's absolutely, this reality is a simulation. If you haven't come to terms with that yet, I don't know what to tell you. This is not the real world. This is a fake world, a digital world. It's a projection or simulation or VR realm or video game. What up, Sheena? How you doing, love? So the truth is that that's the truth. Come to terms with it. If you need God to cope or get by and all that, I get it. I get it. You are a victim. Uh, Good. How are you? I'm doing all right, Gina. I mean, so it's weird when people ask me, "How are you?" Because the truth is, I'm sort of, always in a weird place. I'm never like happy or, well, I mean, I experience this much, but I'm always like, "How am I?" So for my personal beliefs and philosophies, I think I'm doing really good. But because of my personal beliefs and philosophies, I will never be doing really good, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of like depressed by knowing the truth. But overall, for most people end up off, people that have my same philosophies end up offing themselves depressed, miserable. I'd say overall, for my type of people, I'm doing pretty good, I think. But I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, even though it's probably my favorite subject, or just human behavior in general. I don't care if you want to call it psychology. I love observing behavior. People are interesting to me and annoying in some cases. It took a while to get to the point we are now. No reason to stop asking questions. Hey, man, hope you're okay. There's no more questions to ask, though. And if you would have, what question do you have? I'll answer it for you. Just ask me. I have all the answers. I can actually say that with confidence. I know I've got the truth now, so it's like easy for me. Well, to say I have all the answers, all the no able to know answers. We'll say. If you ask me the meaning of life, I don't have the answer. If you ask me, how gravity works, or I don't think it exists, but or how density works, or whatever, I don't have those answers. But if it comes to philosophy, I think I have the answers now. I'm not egotistical. I really am not. I just talk with certainty when I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Hey, man. I'm all right, JC. I'm doing all right. Hope you're every time I read, hey man, I hope you're okay. It makes me feel a little bit unokay, which is weird. It's like, hey, why are they hoping I'm okay, man? That's making me uncomfortable. I don't know why that's weird, but I know I get it. Thank you. Uh, but anyways, yeah, that's what's going on, and it all makes sense if you just take my theory and run with it for a couple weeks, and then observe the reality as a truth seeker, and you'll see exactly what I say is happening. This is a simulation. There seem to be either entities that play humans like characters, or it's just the thought projection machine that runs in our minds constantly is like a program. Either they are gamers playing with humans, or the program sort of plays humans, and that's just the way that we perceive it. Intrusive thoughts, or oh, why did I do that or say that? I was sort of just on autopilot. I shouldn't have said that. I better go and apologize. Or we do weird things when we're on autopilot. It's weird that we even have a mode called autopilot, which is interesting, but at the moment. But I could talk through this stuff. No question, but you could talk through this stuff. Oh, like simulation theory? Yeah. Have you been through gang stalking, Chris? No. There was one time. Okay, there was this one time where I always thought gang stalking was silly because I was like, bro, if it's really happening, show me the fucking video of you running into this same dude multiple times and prove to me that you didn't pay this motherfucker to go and stand in front of the grocery store and then go and stand in front of the bank and then go and stand. I don't know if these people are delusional or not, Sheena, but me personally, and there's a lot of delusional, paranoid, scared, weird, strange people out there. But there was this one time when I was going to the beach near here, and there was this dude driving backwards in a one-way cul-de-sac, and I had to hit my brakes, and he's looking at me, and he like had to drive around my car, which was weird, and he's like still driving backwards, but he went out the wrong way, and I just kept going around. I was like, that guy was weird. But I still remember he was in a Hyundai SUV. He was bald-headed, kind of looked like an Egyptian kind of guy, or I don't know, like I don't know. He looked kind of like Egyptian to me, how Egyptians are depicted, but like middle-aged Egyptian bald guy. And then I seen him again 2 times after that. And one time, which was really weird, is he ended up ahead of me. So, okay, so I had left the beach. I'd seen him that time. I left the beach, and as I was coming out to the main road, he had pulled off to the right into the grass. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? As I was pulling up, I'm like, oh, that's that same dude that was driving backwards. Of course, he's fucking driving off the side of the road. I look, seeing him again. I was like, oh, that's that dude. And I pull off, and I'm driving, and I'm going down the main road, and I have to make a left about 2 miles down. You know, I'm going the speed limit. Pulled off ahead of him. He was behind me, and somehow he ended up ahead of me on the next road I turned on. So I don't know. He must have been driving hella quick or something. I don't know what happened, but there was just that. I ran into the same dude like 3 times in the same day, and he just kept doing weird shit. But that's it. I know he didn't like show up and, you know, like look at me. I'd approach him. I'd walk up to him and be, hey, man, you look familiar. I seen you over there on the beach. I seen you on the fucking side of the road. You all right, buddy? You having driving issues today? I'd let him know. I see you, motherfucker. Hey, Chris, could we be AI thinking we are human inside someone's virtual reality? Yes. British, that's exactly what's happening. That's what I've been preaching for months. So, okay, so British, you'll go like a month without watching my videos. Sometimes here's what I'm confused about. Sometimes people will ask me a question like, I've been preaching what you're saying now, that we are the simulation. We're not some dude wearing a helmet somewhere else. Like I've been saying this for a few months now, but then people will ask a question like that. It's like, so I don't think everybody watches your channel all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll pop in, they'll watch a part of it. But yeah, British. I've been preaching that for months now. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everybody just needs to come to terms with it. This is a simulation. Absolutely. Every fucking finger points towards that. Every argument is for that. It's just so obviously a fucking simulation. And I don't like the idea of being free guy, Ryan Reynolds, free guy. I don't like the idea of being a character in somebody else's creation. But technically, you could say even when I was a Christian, I sort of believed that, right? I'm a guy in God's creation. Well, that's sort of the same thing. It's just saying it differently. Gang stalking isn't running into the same people. It's a spiritual thing. Well, I haven't been spiritually gang stalked. I did run into one confused Egyptian bald-headed dude, though. That guy wasn't on Team Bald. Team Bald drives appropriately. It can't involve running into or people following you, but goes far beyond that. Well, explain that to me, one of you, without being mysterious, weird, or cringy. What's up, Chris? What up, Cosme? What up, dude? What up, dude? Yeah, do you guys remember the name of that 17-year-old kid that I had a conversation with? I thought that was Cosme, that he was a younger guy or whatever. I thought that was Cosme. Cosme was like in his 30s. It's like, what the fuck? Cosme, did we have a conversation on Discord? Wasn't that you? How am I remembering that wrong? Motherfucker, coffee goes into my balls. I hit you on Discord. Yeah, I know we had a few exchanges on Discord, but we didn't have a conversation, did we? We had a long stream a few months ago. We did, didn't we? Me and you talked, right? Aren't you a 17-year-old kid? Who the fuck told me that? That wasn't Cosme. That was Jake was his name. Why am I mixing up Cosme? His name was Jake or something like that. Jake this. No, not Jake the or no. It was Jake something. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry, dude. It just popped in my head. It was Jake, actually. Why am I mixing that up with Cosme? I'm the guy that grew up in foster home care. Oh God, I'm sorry to hear that. If you're anybody that grew up in foster home care, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, some people get lucky. Some people love their foster parents. You know what's weird though is, I know this is going to sound crazy, but every time I see a foster kid who grew up in a proper home, right? Like they end up loving their foster parents. It's still like, even when they say, and I love them just like they're my real parents, or the parents will say, and I love him or her just like they're my real kid. There's just this weird feeling I get that they're being disingenuous. It's like, it doesn't really feel real to them. They say it. They may truly respect their parents or their foster child, but they really don't feel like they're their kid, which is weird to say it if you don't really mean it. But what up, Jai? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Your fucking your thumbnail thing looks like a damn video game I used to play, a symbol of a video game I used to play. Hell no, I'm hella disconnected from those people. It was a decent home, but I'm traumatized. I hated that shit. Oh God, I'm sorry, Cosme. Yeah, where they basically let you move into their shithole so that they can get that check every month type of people. Like they don't actually give a fuck about the kid. A Trojan horse sense of feeling. For what, T? A Trojan horse? Like they're selling you a big lie or something? Are you talking about the foster parents and shit? Is that what you're talking about? Half-Life. Oh yeah, that's what it looks like. Half-Life. Yeah, that's right. Oh man, that's been fucking 20 years since I played that fucking game. Basically, that's what it is. They used to lock the refrigerator. Oh my God, lock the fridge. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. That's like a step up from jail. Living in a foster home like that is a step up from jail. Mind you, I was a growing 6-foot kid. Yeah, that's fucked up, Cosme. That is disgusting. Skinny as fuck because they wouldn't let me eat enough. Yeah, once you got a job and ate healthy and filled out, they were like, oh man, Cosme's a big dude. Cosme's a big boy. Maybe we shouldn't have locked the fridge on this poor bastard. Sorry you went through hell, bud. It's an unfortunate aspect of this hellish existence. A lot of us go through it. I was talking to my brother Dean yesterday. We were talking about like just how we came up. We came up fucked up. I mean, there's probably only a handful of motherfuckers in this reality that could say they had it worse than me and my brothers did. I mean, there are people that had it worse, don't get me wrong, but not many. As a matter of fact, I didn't realize it. It's so normalized to me that when I talk about my upbringing and the things that I seen just normally, how I would talk to my brothers, it actually makes people uncomfortable. I didn't realize that. Well, I mean, I realize it now, but um, me and him we got to talking about how life would have been different if we grew up in a different household. Like if we had had two loving parents, normal, blah, blah, and I said to him that I was like, but do you think that we would have become conscious or aware on the same level we did the way that we grew up? And I said, because the truth is, you're probably right. We would have been happier people, but we probably wouldn't have woken up, and we probably wouldn't, we would be ignorant. We would be ignorant and like plugged into the matrix. And he's like, I don't care. I would have been happier. That's what he says. Like, I don't care. I would have been happier. I would have beat the hell out of fucking this shit. Man, I can go on. The fact that I'm a functioning adult is surprising. Just pure luck. Yeah, it caused me. I realized that too when I started studying psychology. I started looking at statistics of like kids that get abused, kids that get traumatized, like you probably did. Blah blah. They usually end up jugged out on drugs, in prison, or dead. It just doesn't work out for them statistically. So yeah, if you get through that and you're like functioning or even sort of functioning, kudos to you. Like, you've got a strong mind. So we are literally AI NPCs that's a part of a virtual reality itself or some kind of AI that's outside being projected in for a experience of some kind. I don't know, British. It's impossible for me to answer that, but if I had to guess, I would say we're just spawned up in the game. Because like, again, that's you putting importance on you. And if you look around at our current environment or existence, you'd say, we ain't got no level of importance. Our existence is a joke. People fucking get their guts ripped out by wild animals, get bit by shit and fucking swell up and choke to death on their own blood. And like the shit that every human goes through, you go, oh, we are some just shit. We're just a discarded program. Like, did you sit around and worry about what the NPCs are doing in World of Warcraft after playing it? Like, do you really care? No, you don't. So, why? Because they're not important. They're just characters in a simulation. Like, let's be honest. So, we are just characters in a simulation. But when they create the simulation, they create, what up, John? They create with what they know. And so, like, if I create a video game right now based on reality, I can only create from what I know. If you said, Chris, create a monster that's nothing you've ever seen, and I say, okay, it's going to be made of smoke and it's going to have tentacles that come out of the smoke and grab people and pull them into the smoke, and then they vanish and they go into the void. Well, everything I just said was something I've experienced: mist or smoke, tentacles, octopuses, squids, whatever. I can't create something I don't know. So when they created the simulation and they programmed the unfortunate entities that were spawned, they programmed them like real humans. And that's why we feel conflicted. Because if you take a real human and put them in a situation like this, they're going to feel conflicted. They're going to be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, but we're programmed like original humans. But imagine taking a, in quotes, real soul or a program that thinks it's human and putting it into Silent Hill. How would it react? It would be pretty conflicted. It'd be like, yo, this shit don't feel, this ain't the way shit's supposed to be. What the fuck's going on? There's fucking weirdo motherfuckers walking around with their heads on backwards. This shit's fucking crazy, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yep. You guys know what I'm saying. That you belittling yourself and importance here so you can see yourself getting out of here after death. Why am I belittling myself? I'm not belittling myself. I'm a fucking god, bro. Am I belittling myself? I don't know. I'm not trying to belittle. I'm just being brutally honest. So you can see yourself getting out of here after death. No. No. Out of where? No, you're either gonna spawn right back up into another character, British, your brain is the tool that allows you access to the memories that make up your character. When your essence unplugs from that character, it also unplugs from the brain that remembers the character. Your memories don't belong to you, they're stored into a hard drive. Um, so you're not even going to really care about you once you die, anyways, I think, because you're not going to remember you. A lot of people disagree with this. Oh, I've had an out of body, I've astral project, I had an MDE, and there's some sort of existence after I leave the body. I don't know any of that to be true. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Can I prove any of it without learning to astral project myself? The astral projector traveler Robert Monroe, I believe, said Earth has a long line of souls waiting to get into it, like some carnival or circus ride. Really? I don't believe that. So this is what we are doing till the end of our time. I guess so. Laugh out loud. You have no choice. People say like it could have been something different. Like people say, make a comment like, "So what, Chris? Do we just like deal with this now and endure this?" Like, what choice do you have? Is there a way to avoid enduring it or dealing with it? Like, how? That's what must happen. People ask you the question like there's some other path to take. It's like, do you guys know something I don't know about? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, man, my life has been nothing but trauma, man. Yeah, welcome to Earth, Cosme. Your mind is the spirit body, not the brain. So you will learn to astral project. I don't mean when I say shit like that, Cosme, welcome to Earth. I'm not minimizing your traumas or your life experiences. I know exactly what you mean. I went through it too, and a lot of people do. The odds of landing in a good family are actually pretty rare nowadays. Most everybody watching this hates their family or their parents. I just see that more often. People that aren't happy with their family dynamic. Your mind is in the spirit body, not the brain, so you will learn to astral project to make conclusions. I've been trying, John. I'm not good at it. That's what I used to think, Chris, when we first met. Now it's like knowing. What do you mean, T? What did you used to think, and what's like knowing now? If you just added, like, Chris, when you said this about blah, 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 to the comments, it would just, a lot of times I read comments and they're out of place by that point. Yeah, the abuse was horrific. Yeah. Cosme, tell one quick story, if you don't mind, about what you dealt with. Like, give an example. Just let people see how grimy it can get. Because most people don't talk about that kind of shit. Most people don't like talking about that shit. Talking about that shit makes most people uncomfortable. And there's a good reason. It's dark. But you got to come to terms with actual reality. That's dark. Not pretend and live in delusions and say this is a beautiful school or growing realm or God loves us. Like, you're crazy. God loves us how? It's like me stabbing you over and over again with a shank and yelling out that I love you and you actually believing me. Fucking idiot. The simulation is coming. So you used to think that we were in a simulation, but now you know. Is that what you're saying, T? You used to think that we were in a simulation when we first met, but now you know we're in a simulation. Yeah, I've sort of known for a minute. I mean, actually, it's funny because I knew even before I came to terms with it, but it's like my brain was denying it or something. Like, not like knowing it's true, but not like truly believing it's true. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's like my brain kept denying it. Like, even after the Mandela effect, like the Mandela effect sort of told me a little bit. It was like, whoa, the fucking somebody can change the code of reality? What the fuck? Oh, this shit's fake. Like this is a fake reality. It was just but my brain couldn't come to terms with it. Till this day, I still haven't come forward with that. Oh, turn on live chat. I might have missed something because I didn't see what you said. The worst was being sexually molested by one of my family members. It was a woman who was touching on me. I was 9. She made me do things to her. Meanwhile, Cosme, I was that weird 9-year-old that wanted that to happen to him. till this day, I still haven't come forward with that. What up, V? Oh, I was just wondering when you'd go live again. I am live, my love. The brain keeps wanting to check to see if other possibilities exist. It does not like that. Oh, yeah, it does. I think it's programmed to deny that answer. That's why I say, T, it's like, if you became content, you're literally working against the programming that is your character. We're literally programmed not to find the truth. And if we find the truth, it hurts us like we've ended up in hell. The program is programmed to torture us for trying to figure out what the program is. Stop it, Chris. V is mine. I love how motherfuckers just claim V. V, has that ever worked with you, love? Hey, V's mine. Have you ever gone home with that dude that claimed you? Hey, V's mine. I claimed her. What are we, like cavemen? That one's mine. So do we got to fight for her? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's traumatic. I'm sorry, Cosmic. Here we go. This is an adult channel. Cosme may say some things that are dark or inappropriate. I'm going to ask him questions just because I'm a curious Nancy or a curious. I don't know what name would go with curious, but that's a hard word to rhyme. Curious. What rhymes with curious? Curious. Well, anyways, so like what happened, Cosme? You don't have to get super detailed, but like, did she slap you and say you better have sex with me, or like, I mean, what happened? Or let's chat on Discord for a bit. You want to talk right now? All right. Discord. And then what do I need to do on here? Oh yeah, I need to share that. I haven't done this shit in a minute. Cool. That's weird. I'm not hearing anything. Discord settings must be in my fucking headphones right now. Oh, it is. Look at that. Never asked it to do that.
Mr. Sideris, what's going on?
Oh, what up, Cosme?
Yeah, we're good chatting with you, man. I think the last time we spoke was probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sort of zoned out. One sec. Give me one sec. Okay, now. So yeah, it was about. Maybe it was. Dude, I'm not good with time. So I think it was even longer than that. It was probably like 6 or 8 months ago. But
it might have been like 6 or 7 months. It was earlier in the year. So
yeah. What up, dude? How you doing?
I've been doing pretty good. I mean, as best as you can.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know, it's definitely 50-50, right? There's days where I feel really good, and then there's days where I feel like shit. So just trying to ride the highs and the lows.
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask you like personal questions and shit on stream? I mean, you don't have to answer anything you don't want to, but I kind of wanted to ask you about your situation and shit.
Bro, I'm an open book, man. For me, I think more people should talk about things that have gone on with them. So
yeah, I believe in that. Yeah, genuinity or whatever. Show your. I wear my emotion on my sleeve. Everybody knows that. Like I believe in being as genuine as possible. And a lot of times people fake. They front. How are you doing today? I'm good. And the truth is, they're not good. Their husband just died, or they're miserable, depressed. But I like genuinity.
We got to be more honest with ourselves. I think that's what would help more healing. If we could just actually say how we feel versus trying to hide, like, oh yeah, things are good. It's like, man, you just got into several car accidents. You lost your job. Your wife cheated on you.
Yeah.
Like the fake positivity shit is it's so toxic.
It is. It's a weird. It feels like you're participating in an act that you ain't getting paid for. None of us are getting paid for, and we're all just putting on roles. It's so fucking bizarre to me. But
It is weird. I think about it a lot when I'm at work because it's even more like pronounced, especially when you're interacting with coworkers. I'm like, man, it's insane to me how we all come here and literally put on these fucking masks just to survive. Just to fucking survive. I gotta, the lady from HR, how are you this morning? I'm like, good. How was your weekend? Good. Knowing that I had a fucking bad weekend. Just you can't go against that because now you're perceived in a negative way, right? If you tell the truth, you're considered negative.
That's
And
weird.
it's the most insane thing to me.
Yeah, it's not that. And what's weird is if we were all at a carnival, would you be just sitting there depressed looking? No, you'd probably be smiling, laughing, and having a good time. Because people look at you like you're the problem instead of the circumstance. It's like, well, this life shit sucks, bro. Like, can we quit pretending this shit's enjoyable and acting like this shit ain't a fucking suffering, misery, Groundhog's Day repetition realm of going nowhere? But everybody wants it. Yeah, life's great. And then they even pretend on a different level. If you look at social media, like just browse your friends lists or whatever on Facebook or whatever, and what everybody's just happy. Oh man, come on, bro. Everybody's happy all the time. I'm the only motherfucker that don't like this shit, but no, it's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. So I wanted to ask you some questions about your upbringing. So, how far back, from your perspective, do you remember being in homes that weren't yours? Like as far back as a baby, you got adopted?
Yeah, I was 4.5, maybe 5. There are some like blurs in between some of the stuff, but I do vividly remember all the homes that I was placed in.
So you jumped around a lot from one home to another. What was the longest you stayed in a home?
Well, I jumped around from 2 homes when I was between 5 and 7. I think when I was about 7.5, I landed at this home where I pretty much stayed for like ever. I like emancipated out of it, and that family, so to speak, kind of became my quote unquote family. But to your point, because you made a comment, um, uh, it's hard to feel like that's family. I think that's something that a lot of us who grew up in the system, who had like the fortune of being in a home that was semi-stable, which, however you want to define stability, I think it was a decent home. There was definitely a lot of issues there, but yeah, I grew up there, and I guess these people kind of became what I would consider family to an extent.
So do you have any family, any actual family that you love that you could even contrast or compare the way you feel about them to? Oh no, so you could say like, I know how it feels to love my real brother or sister. When I love them, it's not that same feeling.
Yes, because I grew up with my biological sister. Actually, we were in we were in 2 homes together because they tried to keep us together.
Oh, that's good.
Even my older brother, but he's since passed during like COVID. We were in a home for the first home we went to. We were all together, like both of us, all 3 of us were together. And then after that, me and my sister went to the next home that I stayed in for quite some time. And then I think by the time she turned 13, she just ended up leaving and going to a group home. So after that point, I actually had no biological family members in my like vicinity, like nothing, not a sister, not a brother. All the people who were considered brothers were like foster brothers, or I would consider them my stepbrothers. But no, man, any relations really to my biological family was zero. The closest thing would be my sister, but
And
our relationship.
How come how old were you when she left at 13?
So what? She's about 5.5 years older than me. So
oh God, so you were
I think
like
I think I was about 8 or 9.
Okay, so you were a kid. So her leaving
Yeah, I was
was scary to you. That's why you didn't go with her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're polar opposites to be honest. If you look at my sister and me, you'd be like, there's no way in hell they came from the same family. She's the aggressor, and I'm more of like just a passive, introverted kind of kid. I've kept to myself. I think that's what why I was very fortunate to be a quote unquote functioning adult is I was just very introverted. I didn't really connect with the other kids because the other kids were always on, some other. They're probably 10 times more traumatized than me, if I'm being honest. They have their rap sheet was way more fucked up than my rap sheet. Like some of these kids, the kind of abuse that they've went through by the time they even got into the system, it was just like, damn, like sure I got abused in those other two homes, but not to the extent of some of these kids. So I think knowing that, I kind of isolated myself in a lot of cases, and that's kind of what helped me thrive in such a chaotic environment, was just keeping myself occupied on, other things, just trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, so I actually was just speaking to my brother Dean about that the other day. I was like, dude, when I was like in those programs and shit, because I was a little stupid street kid. I was always getting into fights and shit, and I was always getting arrested, but I was always in like programs and shit. I was in a program called the Marine Institute, and I was in JDC for a little bit. And I remember saying to him, like, bro, you know that there were those fucking dead-eyed people when I was in those programs, and I'm looking back and I'm going, dude, they were kids. Like when I was in the Marine Institute, there was a few of them in there, and what I don't know how to explain it other than like people that have just been abused or seen so much nastiness that they sort of go cold or dead, and you can see it in their eyes. Their eyelids sort of like rest on their eyes instead of look like there's energy in them, if that makes any sense. But I knew kids. I was horribly abused, this and that, but I knew kids that went through shit that sounded like a fucking horror story compared to my upbringing. And it's like, man, this is people are dark and evil. So
yeah.
So how old were you when the violence and abuse started in your life? Was it right from the start, or was there when I was 8 or 10, I moved into this place and then it started?
I mean, emotional abuse or physical abuse, I kind of quantify those as the same. I think the emotional abuse definitely started, of course, when your biological mother abandons you. That's some form of emotional distress. So, but at that point I wasn't in tune with anything, right? Because I was so young, so it was kind of a passing thought. I think after that happening, the onset of like the actual physical abuse, which was in the first home that I was placed into, that kind of triggered everything else. And I had realized like my emotional state and then also the physical, visceral pain that I was experiencing. So, it was like a kind of like a twofold thing, but it was pretty early on. I would say as early as 4.5, 5. That shit altered my brain chemistry very early on, because like and this is the crazy thing is when people talk about suicide, I have had suicidal ideation since I was 4 years old. I can literally go back and I remember wanting to off myself at 4.
So you can, if you're sitting on a train or a subway or a public transportation bus and there's 20 people around you, you can sort of tell who in your environment's dangerous, who in your environment's happy, who in your environment's angry, who in your environment's out of it, maybe drugged. You know exactly how everybody around you feels all the time, don't you?
To a degree, yeah. I would say there's definitely a huge level of hyper awareness. Even facial expressions, body language. I'm very tuned into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's part of the survival mechanism. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, I always used to say to my buddies and shit, man, you can't tell that guy was getting mad. They'd be like, no. And I never understood why they couldn't see it. But again, that's another trait of abused kids. You get really good at reading faces.
Yeah, that's crazy you say that because one of my buddies, he's very sheltered from reality. Two great parents. Both of his parents made a lot of money, very well off, and he just couldn't see things when I would point stuff out. He's like, "No, I think you're overreacting." I'm like, "Nah, that motherfucker doesn't like you." And then he would come back and be like, "You know what? You were right." I was like, "Yeah, when you're not sheltered from certain realities early on, you just learn like what the world is." Like, I knew what this shit was when I was 7. I was like, "This shit sucks, man." Like, my parents aren't coming to get me. I don't have no real family. I'm isolated. Like, damn, I was born to be in this shit. Like, this shit make no sense. So you learn early on, like, look, people can definitely be horrific. Um, and you just learn that. Like, that's definitely a trait of kids who've grown up like I have. They tend to just not trust anyone, which it makes perfect sense.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
why would you?
Yeah,
It's,
there's a coldness to kids that grew up in foster homes, and you know what? Especially, I think if it happens in those early ages, where, okay, so here's the thing: is again, I was abused, but I always had a mommy to run to. Um,
Mhm.
my biggest fear was growing up in this reality, being completely alone, having nobody, no brothers, no sisters, no friends, no parents, nothing. Literally being all alone in this reality, and then to do that to a kid at a young age, man, that is just. So I sort of understand why they're all like that, or sort of standoffish or cold. It's programmed into them to sort of be that way just based off their upbringing circumstance. It's unfortunate, but so you had mentioned that you had gotten abused. So what happened? Like, what was, you said you got sexually abused by a woman? Uh, I mean, am I even allowed to ask these kind of questions on?
Man,
I mean,
listen, ask these questions. Look, so I'll give it to you straight and simple. So this household that I grew up in, it was almost like two families were merged together. The foster mom had her sister and her sister's kids, and her fucking boyfriend, like
one of that,
all of
yeah,
that shit. Yeah, it was one period of time. I think it was like 2 or 3 years
Full
where
House.
her sister was going through like hardships, so she ended up moving in with us. So there was just so many people at one given time. Like, it's like fucking 13 people in one house. And yeah, it was nuts. And she had the foster mom's sister had a daughter who was like, I think she was like 14 or 15 at the time. I think I was like the end of elementary school going to middle school. And some of the stuff that would happen, and this is kind of how like it started to happen. She would basically like take showers and stuff and then just come into the room butt ass naked and just like flaunt her body around me, right? And I'm a young boy, like what's happening? I'm just like, I haven't even seen like a woman's body at all. So it's all these like mixed emotions. And then as that progressed, basically it just got more intense. It became like, put your hand here, do this. Like, I wouldn't say it was like she flat out just like raped me or something, but you know, I was preyed upon. Like,
How old
and
were
no
you?
one knew. I was 10, 11. So she was 15 or 16 at the time.
Wait, you were 10 or 11 and a 15 or 16-year-old girl was doing this to you?
Yes.
Motherfucker, this sounds like a great time. Wait, so did you hate her? Was she unattractive? Was she forcing you?
I wouldn't say that I hated her. I just thought it was a bit bizarre, right? Like what are we doing? Is this even right?
Oh my
Um,
God. You weren't excited?
and no, I wasn't excited. I was fucking traumatized.
Really? This is okay. So, dude, if I was 11 and some even decent, attractive 16-year-old girl was coming on to me like that, I would have been hella excited.
I,
So,
I, I think, for me, it
you were
was more
scared.
like, I don't know how to fully explain it, but I did not feel good about it.
Oh shit! Well, I do want to say this. A lot of my friends, guys, just so you know, I grew up in the hood. A lot of my friends were losing their virginity at 10 and 11. Actually,
Oh, for sure.
I was a
For
super
sure.
late bloomer when it came to that. But honestly, if I was 8 years old and some girl would have hit on me, I probably would have fucking. But anyways, I'd have gone for it. But I was exposed to sexuality at a young age too. I knew exactly how it worked. I knew what it looked like. I knew, anyways. But so yeah, I may be an odd case, but So you just were scared, and she was aggressive, physical, like
She was
showing.
aggressive. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm still a child. I'm still a boy, right? I don't
Okay, yeah.
fully understand what's happening, and I have this, Granted, I guess the age gap isn't that crazy, but she's thrusting herself upon me and telling me to put my tongue here and do this. It just felt really weird. I felt used. After I figured out what like actually happened, I was like, man, that was kind of fucking predatory, man. Like, and I never, out of like shame and not wanting to feel those emotions, I never spoke about it. But it's like now that I look back, I'm like, that shit was fucking wrong. And mind you, we had like no parental provisioning. It was kind of like we were just in this environment where no one was checking on us to see it. Like, hey, you probably shouldn't be doing that. Why are the boys and the girls together? Just kind of like basic shit that didn't occur there. There was no boundaries.
Okay. So it didn't go to like third base or home, did it? Like when you say put tongue, like she was making you kiss her and touch her and stuff, and you were just like, "Whoa, I'm a little ass kid."
No. She would like force my head down in certain areas. Like.
Oh my god. Okay,
not to get graphic, like put it here and then like grab my head and like force it down there.
Really?
Like lick here.
And she was 16. What a fucking man! That's an aggressive fuck. Cause she's a kid. I mean, he's a hella kid. He's like a baby, 11.
Yeah.
She's a fucking kid too, though. We're not talking about some,
35-year-old
woman.
Listen, and this is the thing when I've told this story to, one of my good friends, and I think when men kind of explain this stuff, it's just not taken serious. Like it just never taken serious. Like no matter what, like what do you mean? Like it doesn't sound so bad. It's like, bro, like yeah, maybe it doesn't sound bad like on the surface, but know what it is. Like we can consciously see that there's something wrong with that. Like, would you want your child to be in that situation? Probably not, right? But I don't think people give it that much like credence. They're just like, whatever, like you're a boy. Who cares? Like,
well, do you know if she was abused? Was she abused too? Because dude, for her to be like that at 16 is fucking creepy.
Yeah, I actually don't know what happened to her, and I never found that out. Maybe so. Maybe she was abused.
V saying that she probably was abused too, because the way, she thought it was normal. Do you think that Cosme, do you think that she felt like it was normal? Yeah, she must have been abused. There's no 16-year-old going to grab a little kid's head and be like, fucking eat my coochie. That's like weird as fuck. Well, I mean, I say that there's no, but I guess they do exist. But anyways, Cosme, from their perspective, so I'll tell you, when you're telling the story as a guy, from my perspective, these are actually some of the things that guys fantasize about having. Like, do this and that. So yeah, in our brain, it's like, oh, it couldn't have been that bad. Like, did you enjoy? But they don't realize you have to. I would say if you tell the story, you have to remind them, like, bro, I was 11 though. Like I was.
You have to put emphasis on that. Like I'm still a child,
Yeah, like
children should. And to your point, because you're 100% correct. I grew up in the hood too. That's where the foster home was. A lot of these kids were losing their virginity at 9, 10. Shit, some is even early as 7, 8.
Dude, we had a girl on the street over that got pregnant at 11. Dude, it's like, oh
yeah. We've seen a few of those cases too. I remember middle school pregnancies, teenage pregnancies. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But as an adult, I could fully look back and be like, that shit was fucking wrong, like on every level. There was no reason for me that this girl would just come into the bathroom and watch me shower and make remarks about my dick.
She was horny. Okay, so you were a big kid, weren't you? You said you were tall?
Yeah. I think in elementary school, maybe I was like 5'9", 5'10". I was pretty tall early on. Because I peaked at like 6'4". So
she was just a fucking horny demon succubus, bro. That's all she was. She was just a goddamn fucking get down there and eat my Gucci, like fucking violent ass. She was a real life succubus, bro. They exist. They exist. I mean, they. Well, I say that they exist. Their energy works through humans, and I don't know if that makes sense, but dude, she was a goddamn, and she was a fucking child sniffer too. Well, no, she was. Yeah, she was. She was a child sniffer. She was a creep. Well, anyway, dude, I'm so sorry that.
Oh, I'm remembering one thing that she said because, like, you asked this question, like, did you ever go to third base? It was never that with her. And I remember one day she took a shower and she came into my room and she like completely just let the towel drop to the ground. And then she was like, "When you get older, I'll let you fuck me."
Hey, at least she was a nice enough pedophile to not rape you fully yet. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This
chick is hardcore.
Because now now I'm talking about it, it almost feels goofy. It almost feels like just like a silly story, like I can't believe this happened to me. But yeah, I remember like those snippets and stuff, those little flashbacks. I'm like, damn, that shit is fucking insane. Like, no one knew this was going on, by the way. And
why didn't you tell anybody? Were you scared or?
I was terrified.
What did you think would happen?
One, I thought, if they found out about anything like that, I would probably lose my placement in the home.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about.
You know what I'm saying? Because there has been instances with other kids where things like that have kind of gone down, and they end up getting social services involved, and it's just a whole thing. And I was like, you know what? So, if I say something, I'm gonna have to leave because also that's her fucking family member biologically, because that was her sister's daughter, right? And I'm like the fucking foster kid who's just like, don't give a fuck about me. I'm just here existing in this space, you know what I mean? So who has like more credence in that situation? You know what I mean? Like it was a bit of fear, like to speak up about it.
Dude, you ran into a horny narcissist or something. Like, she was a interesting individual, we'll say. But so when you said it, so was other than the horny succubus demon, was the rest of the home normal? Or because you're saying that like I didn't want to get kicked out of there. So was it actually like a decent place other than the teenage demon girl?
It was it was relatively decent comparing it to what a lot of other kids who were moving around from that perspective, right? I would say the one part about it that really sucked is there was always new kids in the house. So like a sense of feeling secure and safe was very hard to feel that, because it's like, I don't know what the fuck behavioral problems this new kid, like it was like a new kid every month. Some of these kids came out of like psychiatric wards. Like some of these kids even had like BPD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. Like, I'm in a house with someone where I feel like they might wake up in the middle of the night and fucking stab me. No locks on our doors, by the way. Like, it's just open rain. So it's almost like a feeling of paranoia constantly.
Yeah.
But the other component. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The other
Did
component.
You say something?
I said you were stuck in fight or flight constantly.
Constantly, 100%. And I think the other part about it was just, I was simply existing in a space. There wasn't really like, if you look at like parenthood, you're supposed to actively be involved in a child's life.
You didn't,
right?
You didn't feel loved by anybody.
No, absolutely not. But I was simply like a product.
Yeah, you were
existing
literally
in this space. So it was very hard to feel what love was.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of bred into how I navigated that situation, which was mostly just isolating myself. And, I was always considered like the quiet, weird kid. But that was just a protective mechanism for me to survive.
Yeah. So I think, dude, I'm actually a big fan of closure. I've seen it work in real time. I don't know if this crazy girl still exists, but if she does, you probably should get in touch with her and have lunch with her one time and just tell her how you feel. Like, look, I know from your perspective, maybe you thought it was cool or whatever, but man, I was young and that shit really fucked me up. And, tell her how you really felt. Usually closure helps a lot. I don't even know if this girl still exists in your life, but if you could do that, it might help. So this is something that I wanted to say is this seems to be a recurring story with foster kids. I was R-worded. As a matter of fact, I would say 8 out of every 10 foster kids that I talked to got R-worded. I don't know if the
Yeah, it's
fucking
pretty common.
if the fucking statistics are that high, then all fucking foster kids should wear a goddamn, like, one of them old ankle bracelets they used to do to us or whatever on house arrest, or maybe a wrist bracelet that's got a fucking emergency button on it. Because you would think with that much statistics, they would go, it appears child sniffers become fucking hell. We pay them to take the kid into their home and do whatever they want to them. So fostering parents should be fucking like observed constantly, bro. Like if they're gonna pay you to watch this kid, you should be okay with mounted wall cameras in the home and the child wearing a fucking wrist bracelet that's got a goddamn emergency button on it. Because if you start harming him, so you didn't get harmed by the parents, you got fucked up by the girl or whatever. But that's good. So
yeah, the parent wasn't bad, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, she was this awful person. She was just running a business. Like, that's just the bottom fucking line. She was operating a business. There were other things, as far as like not being fed appropriately, unfortunately. And when you're a growing boy as big as I am, I was constantly fucking hungry.
Yeah, and that hunger hits different when you're growing, bro. It's like
I felt like it was weaponized. Like I said, she put locks on the refrigerators and shit, and like, you need to stop fucking eating. It's like, bro, I'm like 6 foot already in like fucking middle school,
and hella skinny too, right? You said you were hella skinny. Yeah, they were fucking skinny. That's malnutrition.
I don't know if I would quantify it as malnutrition. Maybe it depends on who wants to look at it. I just always felt hungry, and I never felt like I was satiated. It's like, okay, we're making this food. This is all you get to eat. There's no fucking leftovers. There's no seconds. After you eat this meal, you go to your room, and if you're hungry, you drink water. And there was a lock on the fucking refrigerator, so I would sneak down in the middle of the night and open up like canned fucking fruit and shit, canned pears and pineapples with a fucking knife.
That's miserable.
It was fucking nuts. And all, like, just we would hide cereal in fucking cabinets and shit and hide milk. I remember one time I got caught with milk and cereal under the bed, and she just started fucking whipping me. It was fucking nuts, man. Like, but overall, it wasn't like this horrific place where I was abused day in and day out. I just think there was no component of love there, it was a transactional thing, right? I served the purpose being there because the state paid her to keep me there. And as long as I didn't make any noise and fuck anything up, I got to stay there.
Cosmo, what do you think going for a long period of time without love does to you as a person, personality wise and your mind wise? How does it affect you as a human, not being loved for such a long period of time? And this is hard for you to answer. I think maybe if you grew up in a normal household and your life went to hell at 16, this would be a better question, but because you've been not loved your whole life, sort of. So that was programmed into you. So how do you think it's had an effect on you personally? I'll say.
It don't. So for me, it still impacts my life currently, because I question, maybe not necessarily like long friendships. I got a couple good friends where I know if anything happened to me, like I feel that brotherly love from those friends. More so, I think for me, in a sense of romantic love, I don't believe in it. Like, that woman could do everything for me. You don't love me. Fuck, you say, like, hearing the word "I love you" makes me fucking cringe.
It programmed into your psyche that you're unlovable.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah. Do you believe that?
I don't believe in it I don't believe in it in the conventional way.
You don't believe in what?
I don't believe in love. like how we perceive it, you know?
Have you ever truly cared about somebody that you shouldn't have cared about? Just to say a stranger. I mean, you truly care about them. Have you
Absolutely.
ever experienced that?
Absolutely.
I think that's love. I mean, what is that if that's not love? What is that? Just care? I'm a caring person then? So
I think because of the traumas that I've gone through, I'm more, and I used to be, I've obviously changed my tune. I would be more, how do I say it? I'm more receptive to giving that because I've never had it. But,
oh yeah.
you know, and this is more like
Rescuing the inner child.
Yeah, this is more romantic relationships. Is like I'm giving this person all this stuff because I've never had it and I'm pouring into them, but they're only pouring into me half, if not at all. And I want to prove to them that, you know, I'm worthy of love and I'm not receiving that. So it ends up being a situation where I end up getting exploited because I want to give this thing that I want to feel so viscerally, right?
Well, how do you know they're not giving you the love? Is it just like your idea of love? Because you said a second ago you don't even believe love exists. How does it feel? Are you saying that they seem careless towards you or cold shouldered towards you?
Yeah. And this is specifically, I'm speaking specifically romantically, relationships with women. And when you see that you're giving yourself fully and you don't see that reciprocation, right? You don't see that someone could show up for you in a certain way. Something as simple as you're just having a bad day. And it's like, I want to talk to someone. And you're now a problem because you have problems in your life, right? I've experienced that on several occasions with different women where it's like, damn, like I could be here for you and put my all and drop everything that I'm doing to make sure you're okay. But I'm only asking for a fraction of that and I'm not getting it. So this feels very one-sided, transactional, you know?
Yeah. So first off, a lot of guys, I hear this from a lot of guys in relationships that it just feels like the love isn't reciprocated. Second off, so how do you know if their love is at the right level? So if they're not loving you at all, you probably shouldn't even be in a relationship with them anyways. But the thing is, like we as guys, we almost take it personal. It's like I did this for you, so you kind of owe me the same level of love, and we kind of get offended
I don't think it's that, and I think we all show what we define as love in different ways. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, and I've learned a lot about, because I'm pretty introspective, so I always try to see multiple angles. I think love would be you truly accepting someone for what they are, right? It'd be the highest form of understanding, right? But when you're in particularly romantic relationships, you realize that a lot of times those relationships are revolved around transactions. You do this, I do that. We stay together because you're doing this and I'm doing that. Yeah. When those things are no longer present, love.
It's a business deal that we call a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, you have the other components of it where it's like, I'm getting sex from you and I feel good from the sex. And if one of those variables goes away, there quote unquote isn't no love, which means what was it in the first place? It just seems very transactional. So I don't think we fully understand what that really means. Like, what does it mean to love someone? What does it truly mean? Romantically, at least, that's what I'm speaking to. So, familial wise, I can't. I guess over time I've developed a sense of love for the people around me, friends. But you wouldn't have been able to tell me that 12, 15 years ago. I'd have been like, I don't fucking trust these fucking people. I definitely looked at a lot of situations and sort of overanalyze, and I figure out, sometimes you could be in your head a bit too much. Sometimes you gotta let go of the shit that's in your head, or the trauma, the trauma that you have, because it will fuck around and ruin other things because you just have a warped view, which is valid. Your worldview is based off of what's happened to you.
Bro, I don't think that's you. I don't think that's you. I think you is the one that identifies that's happening. I don't think that that's you. That's either the program or the entities, the mind virus.
I mean, like when
people say get out of their own head, it's just
he said something very interesting, because we live in a weird kind of social dynamic in humanity where it's like, it almost feels like they relate things to like the gym, like I could objectively go into the gym and work out, and I'm getting stronger, and that's good because that's an act that I want to go out and pursue. But it's not like you going through battle scars and trauma. That shit's not making you stronger. That shit it fucks you up.
No, that traumatizes.
It traumatized you, and people are always talking about healing. You gotta heal. You gotta heal. You know how fucking hard it is to heal? Mm-hmm. I think the people who say that they've healed are just ignoring what is happening to them. I don't know what really being healed fucking feels like. I don't think that that's a thing. I think that the fucking gashing scar in the middle of my chest is always going to be there.
No, the people, so the people that say you need to heal are really saying, I'm still broken.
It's gaslighting at the highest level.
Yeah. So
gaslighting you.
I think that if you truly meditate, really focus on the breath for a long period of time, you can sort of shut down the traumatized monkey brain.
Yeah.
And you can see it for what it is, but it comes right back on. There's
I was
no
just gonna say that shit's always there. It's always lingering there. It's like, and that's why, when I kind of look around at some friends that I have who grew up completely polar opposite to me, they were always sheltered from those realities. They don't have that brain chemistry that has them going into that place in their mind. Like, they don't have to worry about some of the things, at least childhood wise. Like, what do you mean? I've never experienced that. And it's like, you were sheltered from those certain realities. Your baseline for quote unquote trauma is non-existent when it comes to this thing. So you'll probably never understand that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think we do a lot of victim blaming, and gaslight.
Did you have any friends that you like buddies, your best buddy growing up, a kid you played football with or something, whose house you'd go over a lot? Where did you get to witness anybody else that had like a normal or good family?
I had probably one that was like really functional. The rest, like, the kids that I hung out with in middle school through high school, they still have broken homes, but at least, they had like their grandma around or their mom that at least somewhat fucking cared about them. But a lot of those kids still grew up in kind of dysfunctional homes too. We all thought, sure, they weren't in a fucking foster home, but fucked up parent or power, just growing up in poverty. That shit does something to your brain,
Oh, yeah,
so, we all kind of shared a similar story at the end of the day. Like, man, we wish our fucking reality was a little bit better. Like, mom's got to work 2-3 jobs just to feed us fucking ramen noodles. You know what I mean? We all had like the same similar fucking story. But there was one friend who actually had a mom and a dad, and I would go over there and I would be like, damn, this shit seems real good. I like being over here. It feels nice.
Yeah, me too. So that's funny you said that. It feels really good being over here. So I had a neighbor named Mike once, and he had like an actual real family, like a father, a mom, he had a sister, and they loved each other. It was just different. And when I started hanging out at Mike's house, man, I didn't want to leave because it felt like being in a loving home environment was something that I had never felt. And it was interesting. But I remember being in elementary school, and I could clearly tell you the difference between kids like us, you could say, and kids like them. And there was they had this sort of goofy, happy innocence to them, and I just knew boy, you're in for a rude awakening. This life is not what your mom and dad have
Well,
told you it is.
they had more confidence, and that's something that I look back on, and I completely lacked confidence because no one poured into me.
Mm.
I was trying to pull from an empty cup. You know what I mean? Like even like something as simple. It took me a while to navigate social situation. It took me so long to like, dude, why are you fucking worried about what the fuck they care about you? Like at work, if you know, when I first started the workforce, like I had to deal with a lot of like just nervousness, like and anxiousness, because I didn't have the confidence. I never got the confidence.
Yeah. How could you have confidence if you believe in your mind, your foremind, and your subconscious mind that you're unlovable? That's a weird. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have had too much confidence if I grew up in your situation either. So how do you feel now, though? Do you feel confident now? Do you feel like you're lovable now? Do you feel like you've moved past all that, or do you just feel like you're stuck in that loop?
No, I think I've definitely moved past that stuff. Actually, I feel really good when I get to talk about it because it shows the growth that I've
Oh, good.
acquired along the way. Definitely, because I mean, dude, I would not even talk. This was like taboo to talk about when I was in middle school. Or I used to lie about being a foster child, because even kids would figure it out. They're like, how come your fucking brother is white and your other brother is Mexican and then your mom's fucking black? Like, what's going on in this household? And like, oh, you know, I would just make up so many excuses. I was embarrassed. You know, I was truthfully embarrassed to even talk about that. Now I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll just have a whole conversation about it. Like, hey, it is what it is. I feel, I wouldn't say like I'm this revolutionized, healed person. Of course, I think about that stuff. I think about, damn, like, what would life have been if I had a fucking mom that gave a fuck and a father? Sure, you know, you reminisce about it, but I think now as a guy in his, you know, early 30s, I'm pretty much like self-sufficient. I'm past that. I don't think that stuff holds me back in any way. I think I've done a lot of work on a lot of different levels, just, you know, kind of working through things actively or inactively, or just, you know, being able to reflect on situations I've been in and kind of understand how to navigate them. I think I would definitely say I feel a lot more comfortable at this age than I was at 17, 18, 19, 20. I say I'm two different people from then and now.
Okay, I got a question for you. I'm assuming that you have a sort of interesting philosophy. If you're on my channel all the time, you either believe in simulation theory or something like that. So I would say to you, or the question I want to ask you is, if I could rewind your life and start a second path, on that other path, both your parents stuck together, you grew up in a normal household, they were wealthy enough to send you to college for whatever you wanted to do, there was love in the household, but you never became conscious of simulation or soul trap or hell realm theory. Which life path would you choose?
No, I want the truth, man. If I'm being completely honest, I would not want to incarnate into this shit. This is hell.
But do you think that it's because your life was such a fucking shithole that you feel that way? Like if you grew up in that perfect white picket fence house, you would probably be happy.
I think if I'm anything like I am, because I've always been like, bro, I was like trying to debunk the Bible at like fucking 10 years old. I was like, this does like, I think my brain was always had the capacity to think that way. I don't think whether or not I was in a wealthy family and a great family, I think I would still probably have the existential dread. That's just personally my opinion. Maybe that wouldn't be the case. Who knows? But
there's a lot of ignorant people. There's a lot of happy, ignorant people. They love being on their boat and their jet skis, and they think life is great. So you can't deny that. I mean, they look happy unless they're just a great actor all the time. I mean, unless they're lying to us, they do appear to be happy in their ignorance. Now, if I said to them, okay, well, here's how me and Cosme feel about this reality and project our consciousnesses into them, we're going to fucking make them miserable. They're going to be depressed and hate life and look at the jet ski as a waste of time. I was like, so the question is it our circumstances that made us who we are? And then you could almost say, well, then we're just a character. that was pre-programmed that if you're in this circumstance, you end up being a in quotes truther guy. So I'm a little perplexed by this. This is a conversation again I had with my brother the other day. It's like, do you really? He wants to be ignorant. He's like, fuck that. Put me in the happy family. He's like, I can't do anything about this shit anyways. So I would have rather just been ignorant and happy. He's like the cipher, I guess you could say. I'm more the Neo. It's like, no, give me the hard truth.
I mean that's a good point. I think that's a good valid point, right? Like, who knows? Maybe it would just be a completely different scenario as far as consciousness. Knowing what I know now, I still think that that's a fucked up reality, because I just think reality is just fucked up no matter how you try to paint it.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
You're trying to, you know what I mean? You're trying to like put lipstick on a fucking pig. It's shit. Like it doesn't, even if I'm on the yacht right now, it's a shitty ass existence. Like,
yeah.
I would choose non-existence every day over this. Because why would I want need? Like, I don't want to need anything. It's just, what is the point?
I think us having this conversation, and why? Because it feels good. Okay, so I like to have conversations, like conscious conversations with other people that think, illogical people and stuff. It feels good to me. That's the meaning of life to me. Why am I getting up every day? For these moments. Other than spreading truth or talking about truth or trying to wake up conscious, I don't see any reason to get up in this reality every day.
Yeah, and I'm saying all that with, because I've been in this community for a very long time. It started over a decade ago with fucking Jordan Maxwell, and that whole word psychology thing, how they play on words that they do. What's the term?
Oh, the word wizardry stuff or whatever.
Good morning. The word wizardry. It all started off with that, So I'm very, very familiar with.
That's where you started?
That's where I started, yeah. That was back in 2009.
My goodness. So you were into strange phenomena before that, like exorcism, ghosts, hauntings, UFOs. Were you into anything?
I was into aliens and shit, and I've always like had an open mind for like I said, I've always been existentially like I've always had an existential dread, like what the fuck am I doing here? Like, this is, why am I going to school? Why do I have to brush my teeth? Like, all that stuff. I've always had kind of that mindset. So I've always been into philosophical, universal kind of ideas. Are there aliens out there? What are we? But my real journey started with Jordan Maxwell. That was 2009.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on. I'm sorry. I was thinking of that Canadian guy that always gives speeches, but no, you're talking about the dude that's bald on top. He wears glasses.
You're thinking of Peterson. No, not Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah.
Jordan Maxwell, the heavy set, bald.
Oh yeah, he's dude. Really into. He I think started that word wizardry shit, or he brought up a lot of the liquid language that's in the financial system.
The Admiralty maritime law kind of language, with how they play on words and how businesses, entities, how they use all these different words. It's very interesting, man.
It's crazy.
I love that stuff. I still go back to this day and watch a Jordan Maxwell video because I think it's powerful, and I think it shows how much the simulation, if you want to use that, or the matrix, whatever, how ingrained manipulation is. Like, even how we communicate with each other, it's a fucking form of control.
Yep.
And we don't even, whether you consciously or subconsciously, like, you're speaking this language of imprisonment. Mm-hmm. Just that alone, right? The way we navigate that, I'm like, man, this shit goes so deep. So it's like everything in this fucking reality is fucked up. Even the language is fucked up, man. Like, what's going on here? It's really bizarre, but that's where my journey started. So I've always known that this would be the end. It's funny because back then I put emphasis on like, oh, I've unlocked this new esoteric knowledge. It's going to get me to this level, and all for it in the end for me to just realize that it's all pointless. None of it even means anything. Yeah. Just being a human is pointless, right? Yeah. Like, existing is pointless.
Dude,
we're not doing nothing here. What are we doing here?
You're programmed to be an entity that thinks it's on a journey. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what you just said.
Bizarre.
It's weird when you analyze it with real eyes.
It's the most bizarre thing when we think we're doing something here. It's like all I see here is pain, misery, suffering, and nonsense.
Yep.
And we wrap it up in like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm starting this business. I just got hired in this role. Fuck out of here. It's all the same shit. It's all stupid.
Yeah, you know what? I hope you're successful with your business you started, but it's still a distraction from what's actually going on. I'm glad you got your promotion at your job. Good for you, but it's still a distraction from what's going on.
Like kind of like what we were saying. Like people are just disingenuous, right? Because and I always found this weird. This was very bizarre to me. How people would say, "Man, nowadays things are so fucked up." Like, what do you mean?
They always were.
Genghis Khan war. You had fucking transatlantic slavery. You had the Arabian slavery era. You had fucking Nazi Germany. Dude, things have been destructive always. It's just the nature of reality. Like things like. Can you quantify like 2025 as worse than 13th century BC? I don't think so. I think 13th century BC, if anything, was worse.
Actually, it's funny you said. If you read writings from some of the thinkers in 13th century BC, you'll find a lot of what we call truthers existed back then. This shit's always been happening. Our little path in this matrix was created before we even started running it. And if we were born in 1200, we would have been a conspiracy guy back then too. It's just another script or program in the matrix. Some people will say, well, becoming conscious increases our rate of escape. Well, if it's a matrix, I don't think you can. Like, we got to be fucking brutally honest up in this bitch. Yeah, we're in the game, dude. Like, there's no... I mean, I'm glad that your mind, and we all know human minds can create delusions to deal with harsh fucking existential truths.
And you got to think about it like this, like, because, there's this, you escape the matrix and don't go into the white light. If you were propelled here in the first fucking place, completely against your will, what the hell? What is will? Where does will exist? Does it exist? Is it esoterically existing in some sort of ethereal? Like, we talk all this stuff as if we possess these things.
Amen.
Your will and your spirit and this and that. It's like, dude, you don't even know what the fuck that is. You're speaking a language that you don't actually know exists. You're just repeating shit. Yep. You don't know anything. You have no knowledge of anything. You have no knowledge of self, because the self that you identify with is a corrupted, stupid version that's based on a script that's been running. You don't even know you. I don't know me. I'm just existing. I'm just in this body communicating and talking to you. I don't know what the fuck is going on in this world. So when these people get on and try to be like these spiritual experts, I'm like, that shit just turns me off. Like, you don't know anything. And that's the scary part. We literally don't know delusions, anything.
Don't you? You see a person acting. They take on this script and then they parrot these lines. Like, oh, I'm spiritual now. So now I have to gear up. Okay, now I've got to refer to understand instead of understand. I've got to talk with certainty and the whites of my eyes showing and drag out every S. It's like you just, after a while, you start to see that they're just humans that play roles like actors. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's hard to deal with as a conscious soul. It's literally like you're watching a play take place, and none of these people are getting paid to act. But anyways, I'm sorry, continue.
No. That's what it is. That's what I always say. I always say, we know nothing. I'm here. I'm existing. And that's that. I don't fucking know. Reincarnation, soul trap, Loosh farm. Yeah. None of that shit. What the? I don't fucking know.
These motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The one thing we could completely agree on is that we're all going to erode this physical flesh as of we know it, right? We know that our body is decaying. We know death is imminent, right? It's coming. Mm-hmm. After that, I can't tell you the white light at the end. Don't go into this and soul. I don't know. And I'm not going to pretend that I do know.
So there was a point that I wanted to make on the last thing you said. So, and then when you had said the white light, that brought me to a totally different point. It's like, bro, if all you see is a white light, how do you know that you're not just electricity inside of a fucking electrical wire somewhere? Like, you don't know what that means. Oh, the language,
Exactly.
the language that these people use, it's all a script. These spiritual people, they learn the words to say that. It's just like Christian people, but it's just a different script. And even truthers do this. That once you become a truther, oh, you can't talk about this guy because he's a shill. You can't mention this thing because everybody needs to play these characters. It's fucking weird and creepy. I wish humanity would stop doing that. I hope that we nailed that point home, because that's just creepy. But the other thing was, like you had said, oh, that's what it was. The words that people use, they talk about these things like they're these mysterious auras or something. Like, I'll stand in my sovereignty. And then somehow, because I just said, hey, motherfucker, I'm sovereign now, all these entities that manipulate and forced me into a reality I never asked for to begin with are just going to step aside now. They're going to be like, oh, no. This one says he's tough, and now we're scared of him. Like, man, are you guys really reaching to create a scenario where you still have power? Is that what's really going on? Are you guys really reaching for straws here? No. If I just say, hey, evil guys that imprison me, I'm in my sovereignty, all of a sudden they're just going to be like, well, okay, see you later, bud. You escaped the soul trap. Like, bro, y'all are fucking making up delusions too. The same way the spirituals and the Christians and the religions, y'all are being delusional too. I'm sorry. Just
Yeah. No, it's delusion, right?
I'm glad we're having
we
this
delude
conversation.
ourselves, and we think that we're much more than what is, and we don't really have a grand reference to what we even are. And that's the scary part, right? If you want to get into that and go down those rabbit holes, it's pretty terrifying that you know nothing. We don't know what this is. There's so much speculation on what is what. It's a twisted game, man. It's a twisted, sick fucking game. And I wouldn't wish this on anyone, The fact that just existing and how stressful it is, like, how crazy is that? Like, I'm alive and I'm just so stressed that I have to exist. I was thinking about it the other day, just the fact that I have to eat to sustain this shit. It gets tiring, bro. Food is so boring and monotonous. Like, what else is there to eat at this fucking age that I'm at? Like, even something as simple as that is like the food, man. Like, but amongst all the other responsibilities that you have, right? Brushing your teeth, and flossing, and all this other stupid shit, so you don't get sick and suffer more. I'm like, man, this shit's crazy. I don't know. Whatever designed this thing, man, that shit needs to be held in the universal court of law. Like, for the crimes against fucking humanity. It's insane, man. It just makes zero sense that we live in a reality that functions this way.
Yeah, so V just said something that was actually exactly what I was thinking, is that when you look at the design of the realm, the body, it's almost as if the designer itself is mocking us. It's like it created this realm just to torment souls, like the things that humans go through and deal with. When you really look at it, it almost appears. See, when I say it's a simulation, that's sort of, in a weird way, not a completely. It's sort of disingenuous because of that fact, because that doesn't make sense to me. Because when we create video games, we really don't create scenarios in the characters' lives that humiliate them. I mean, and if that is what the simulation is, I mean, my goodness, who would play a game like this and who would enjoy playing it? I mean, it's sadistic, but yeah, when you throw that fact in there, it's a little weird, because I've never seen a video game where I walked into an NPC's house and I seen, some demon just stabbing him to torment him in his off time. I've never seen that. And if I seen it, I'd be like, oh, this is a fucking weird game. That's a weird,
yeah, that's a good point.
Rabbit egg to find in there, or whatever it's called, a hidden fucking thing. I didn't know that they tormented NPCs in there. But now when you look at what we go through, like, do you ever see an NPC with walking down the street that has a tumor that's so massive growing on his head that he looks like the Elephant Man or like a deformed creature? No, why would they put an NPC through that? But in this design, in this simulation, is literally created to humiliate and torment the unfortunately, forced participants, us. It's weird. It's sadistic and weird.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, and it's crazy how like it's a consistent consensus, right? Like where it almost feels like, and sometimes I think about like relationships a bit more, and it's like, what is the probability that your relationship is gonna work? It's like, I don't know, that what they say is like split down the middle. I think it's like it's so low that that's gonna work. You
10%,
know, that person's
maybe.
gonna, yeah, that person's gonna more than likely end up betraying you, and it just seems like everyone's walking around traumatized by something. Like,
Mhm.
no one escapes that trauma shit, right? And there's just various different forms of it. It's like it's just a weird, like who would, it is seem like a humiliation ritual.
Yeah.
It's like are we all experiencing the same humiliation ritual at different levels? It's just weird. Like, why would it create the system that way? Why? Like, what would be the point? I just don't get it, you know? But
There's
it does feel
literally no
like
point.
it's mockery.
So yeah, the again, I go back to the prisoner of war thing because it's the only thing that's logical, right? Like we're definitely in a simulation with all the things that point towards simulation, but then it's a simulation that humiliates and torments and struggles us.
Yeah.
So it's almost like we got captured by an enemy and forced into a technology that where they're literally like glad they're sitting by knowing we're fucking sitting there struggling in misery and we're in their machine or something. They just again,
Yeah.
there's no need for all the extra suffering that humans go through.
There is just no need for need, period. So
Yeah.
that alone is something that is just weird that it would even create some sort of design like that. So I
Yeah.
don't, and then the worst part is that we just don't know if we come back here. We don't know. We just don't know, man. So I think it's really irresponsible to have children. Very irresponsible to bring someone into this.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm not a full on anti nihilist. Oh, if you're a parent, you're evil and all this. Like, no, I understand. Humans are programmed, humans are scripted, humans have urges, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. I look at humans as victims. But if you're a conscious soul, at this point, at this level, we should say, and you see reality for what it actually is, yeah, I agree. Having a kid, period, is the first irresponsible parental decision you've made. So, because
Yeah.
bringing a soul into a realm like this, or whatever we are, what we think we are, bringing another character, even if it's just simulation, bringing another character into a realm like this is fucked up, or at least it feels fucked up from the character's perspective. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not in a hurry to have kids at this point. I mean, it doesn't matter anyways. I think I'm at that age. I don't know if I could, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to have kids anyways. But why'd you do you have kids?
No, no, I don't. I don't. And I think if you have this sort of knowledge, and that's the thing, I don't know. I think they have a term for it, like conditional natalist. It's like if you have this fucking awareness, like, and you go ahead and do that, like, wouldn't that just be completely like against your awareness? Like, how could you be that aware and then do that? It, and I get why you would. I mean, biologically, because you're hardwired to do that, and
Yeah,
sex is the most pleasurable thing to perpetuate this fucking nonsense. But it's like, man, having that kind of awareness and then going off and doing that just seems like
yeah.
what happened?
I would. My
Like how
personal.
like cognitive dissonance like a motherfucker, you know?
Yeah, my personal opinion on it is because there's plenty of people that became conscious after they had kids or this or that. My personal opinion on
Yeah.
it is I personally, and it's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to hate you if you disagree. Is I personally wouldn't have kids. If I did,
Yeah.
though, I would be what I call as a good father, and I would raise them to be conscious souls. If you're a conscious person and you're raising your kids to be awake and conscious and see reality for what it is, I could say you may be setting them free, or I could say you'd be making them fucking miserable and depressed like the rest of us. I don't know what to say at this point anymore. But I would think if you man up, I'll say this: if you do fucking get somebody pregnant, have a kid, take care of that kid, make sure they grow up in a decent
Yeah.
environment. Maybe you actually shouldn't even tell them the truth. I don't know. If they're happy, maybe just let them be ignorant.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't know what to tell people. I used to say, honestly, Cosmo, I used to say, if you're going to raise kids, raise them up to be conscious, man. You're going to help them escape. But at this point, come on, man, that's such a pipe dream. And it's almost like, don't fucking. I'm at this point now. It's almost like, don't tell them the truth. Don't tell them the truth, because you're going to fucking corrupt them and make them depressed and miserable. They're going to want to fucking blow their fucking heads off before they're even fucking 14 years old. It's like, you're going to kill this kid if you tell them the truth. But the truth is just that dark.
Yeah.
But
I agree. I agree with everything you just said, 100%.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, Cosme. So I'm gonna actually be wrapping this one up here in a minute, Cosme. But I did want to say before we wrap it up, I'm sorry you went through what you went through. You didn't deserve that. No human does. I would say no human even deserves this experience, period. But you specifically, for what you went through, didn't deserve that. You didn't ask for that. You didn't have bad karma and deserve it. That's all bullshit. And you're a lovable person. I don't know. Well, I do know why they didn't love you, but it's unfortunate. You should have experienced love, and you do deserve love. But life's tough. Life fucks people up. Life puts people in predicaments like you do. You are in, and
that's one thing I've came to terms with, where it's just like, hey, these things are happening, but it's not happening because you did something wrong. Things are just happening because they're fucking happening. It's like
it's a fucked up.
The game is just playing out, and it's almost like, you know what it is, because I do a lot of computer engineering related stuff, like code. I deal with code a lot at my job. I was thinking about it right now. It seems like the input just feeds in random code, and then that random code just creates outcomes. I think the design of this is like, there's a framework, and I think it just spits out random lines of fucking code, and shit just happens, right? Like, for instance, it's gonna spit out a random line of code, and someone's gonna just fucking crash on the freeway right now. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was constructed almost in real time. Because there's certain things in this reality where it's like, man, was that fucking glitch? Like, you could swear, like, hold on, like even something as simple as, like, man, I swear I put this here and it wasn't there, and it's like your brain's glitching in that moment. It's like, it almost seems like the program is playing out, but there's no real debug. Like, no one's debugged it. When they put out a new update for an application, they have to sandbox it and run it through different parameters and make sure that code is secure before they publish it. It almost seems like this reality just puts out code, and it's like, whatever fucking happens. Hey, that fucking kid got cancer and died. Oh, well, I don't know if that makes sense.
Sort of makes sense. It almost sounds like you're saying it's a chaotic realm. It's almost like the code itself is random, and that's what this realm is, just randomness.
I think so. I think it's just random, man.
Yeah, well, it's not, you think. I mean, that's what happens. Again, I mean, you don't get to choose. I mean, I got too much more time, but you don't get to choose which family, how you look, who your siblings are going to be. Like, life is just completely random, and that's what happens. And if you end up with a tumor in your head and you look like hideous Elephant Man, that's unfortunate. And the reality is completely indifferent. It doesn't care about your feelings. You're just a subject in its experiment to a degree. But
yeah, I agree. I agree with everything he said.
All right, Cosme, thank you for coming on, brother. I appreciate you. We can talk any other time you want. Hit me up whenever. I appreciate the conversation, brother. I'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, sir. All right. Take it easy.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming. I can smell a home-cooked meal in the background. Oh, dude, and it's going to be a chunk of fucking fish. My brother makes that red penang sauce or whatever it's called. Man, this motherfucker's so good. I've been looking forward to this meal since yesterday. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up. I love you guys. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Cosme, for stopping by and having a conversation with me. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Love you guys.